Hey guys, how are you? I hope you guys are having an awesome week. And if you're not, that's okay. You guys are in the right spot. Hopefully in the next few minutes, you're going to get to hear something that makes you laugh, makes you smile, makes you cry. I don't know, but that's what we're here for. We're here to learn. We're here to love and hopefully make you smile, right? That's what we're doing. So anyways, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, the Paul and Rachel show last week, I'm kind of partial, but we had a pretty special guest. It was a 4 and a 6-year-old. And they have the same last name as me. So if you haven't had a chance, go check it out because it's pretty entertaining. Also, last week we finished up our series called Explained. It was such a good series, right? We got to learn about the Bible. We got to learn how to relate it to our lives. We got to learn 4 really important things like, scripture is God breathed. And if we know it and we have it in our hearts, then it'll make things easier when we get to those parts in our lives that are just crazy and hard to understand. That no, we don't really have to understand everything about the Bible, but when we get to those parts about the Bible, we can ask the right questions and we can get context and we can get the clarity that we need to get through those parts. And if we don't know, we can go to somebody who maybe does. Maybe they will know, right? That's what it's all about. It's just getting the context and it's getting the clarity, and that maybe it's not all about us in that moment of our lives. Maybe it's about somebody else, that maybe it can help them. And if not, we just move on to another part of the Bible, right? That's what it's about. Anyway, awesome series to help us make the Bible relatable to our lives. What does that mean? We finished up a series. It means that we have a new series, right? So the next series, I'm actually really excited about. I'm excited because this next series, it's called Like Me. Not like me, not like you, like me. It is a series all about comparison. We all do it, right? You do it. You do it. You do it. I do it. Paul does it. We all do it. We all compare. Comparing is like a human thing, right? We all compare. So this series is going to kind of help us. It's going to help us, like, are they like me? Do they like me? Do I even like me? I don't even know, right? It's just all these things. So what a cool series this is going to be to just really help us to figure out what's going on in our heads, what should be going on in our heads. I don't know. What does God want us to have in our heads? That's what this series is going to be about. So stay tuned after the video because we have a super cool announcement to make on the Paul and Rachel show. So stay tuned for that new series, and we'll see you Wednesday.
Don't you hate it when things are unfair? Like when you studied for hours and hours for that history test, then barely passed, only to find out that your friend got a B who you know for a fact got the answers from a friend before he took it? Totally unfair. Or watch this, when your sister, who never cleans her room, never does her chores, and always messes things up, seems to always get what she wants while you feel like you hardly ever get what you want. You're actually the one who keeps things in order around the house, yet you never seem to get any recognition from your parents. That's very unfair. Maybe you have to share a car with your brother, but you're the one who's always paying for the gas and keeps it clean. Unfair. Maybe you have to watch the athletes be excused early from class for the big game. You know that this means that they have extra time to prepare for the test. Unfair, right? I could keep going. This happens all the time when I'm scrolling on Instagram. I can't tell you the number of times I've been scrolling, totally happy with my life, minding my own business, until I'm watching my friend's story and I see something that completely deflates me. She went to my favorite vacation spot for the weekend. Wasn't she just there last month? He got to go to the concert I was dying to see, and it's all over his story. His family is still together, which means that he doesn't have to change houses every weekend like I do. She and all of her siblings are good at every sport they play, and I'm pretty sure all of them have been offered full ride scholarships. He has the latest Adidas kicks while I'm stuck wearing last year's shoes. He got the newest this. Her life is so much better because she has that. You know what I'm talking about. I can go from feeling good about life to feeling like life isn't great in about 10 seconds. All of a sudden, I'm not just disappointed, I'm ticked off. It's just not fair. And you know this already. In addition to feeling miserable, when we do this, we start to assume that other people have the perfect life. We look at what they put online, and then match it up to what we know is true about our current reality. And when we do that, their life looks better, they look better, and we recognize a familiar reality. Their life is greater than my life. We feel less than, and it's typically when we respond in one of the following ways. First, we might overachieve. Maybe seeing everyone else's perfect life lights a fire under you, and you start working really hard to keep up with what other people are doing and projecting, hoping you'll get the same results. Or we might do nothing. Maybe watching others makes you feel like there's no way you can do what they do or be who they are. So why even try? Maybe we just play it over and over in our minds, whether it's anxiety, sadness, jealousy, or motivation to go out there and make your post look better. You may find yourself unable to think about anything else. No matter how we respond, the result is the same. It feels bad. That's what comparison does. Here's the tricky thing about comparing our life to someone else's. We know ourselves too well. We know and live the good, the bad, the happy, and the sad. And we know that places like social media are designed to display the highlights of life, just the good stuff. That's why we will do everything we can to make sure that others only see the highlight reel of our lives. We aren't going to post about that fight we just got into with our girlfriend, on our real Instagram at least. But we will post a fire photo of ourselves, and we may even take that one photo 30 times just to make sure that we have the right lighting, look, filter, and angle. Or we rewrite the same funny comment 30 times to make sure it's actually funny. Admit it, you've totally done that. We've all perfected the art of projecting the life we want others to think we have, even if it doesn't match the life we actually have. And here's what's crazy. We forget that everybody else is doing the exact same thing. They're posting their best life, not their real life. But somehow our brains trick us into believing that their highlights are the whole story. Let me say it another way. When we compare ourselves to others, especially on social, we believe things about ourselves based on someone else's half-truth or fully fake display. Comparison has become such a norm in our culture that most of us don't even realize that we're doing it. The good news is that what we're going to talk about in the next few minutes will not only help us recognize when we're doing it, but it will also help us understand what to do about it. Even though we live in a world full of social media hype that may seem impossible and even totally unrealistic, we actually may be surprised at what is possible and real. One of the greatest teachers and followers of Jesus that ever lived was a man by the name of Paul. He made it his mission to make sure that everyone he met knew how their lives could benefit from following Jesus. He traveled all over the known world, establishing relationships with many different groups of people in different regions who viewed him as an authority figure when it came to how to live a better life, thanks to Jesus. Paul traveled a lot from town to town in order to maintain relationships with people and offer them the life-changing news of who Jesus was and what he had to offer. When Paul wasn't present with the different churches he planted, he made a point to write letters to stay connected. You could say it was his version of staying active on Instagram or Snapchat. And in these letters, Paul was known for being pretty direct. He was passionate about following Jesus and leading others to do the same. While everything Paul did was out of love, it's likely that sometimes people felt like they were being called out in areas where they weren't measuring up. In response, they did what a lot of us do. They lashed out. Have you ever done that? They began to tear Paul down. Their strategy to feel better about themselves was to make him look worse. In a word, they were petty. Listen to how Paul responded to these criticisms in a letter to the people in a city called Corinth. Oh, don't worry. We wouldn't dare say that we are as wonderful as these other men who tell you how important they are. But they are only comparing themselves with each other, using themselves as the standard of measurement. How ignorant. I'm pretty sure the Greek word for this linguistic tool translates roughly to sarcasm. Paul clapped back at the critics. He wasn't messing around, and in this passage, he's addressing the comparing that is going on among people and the struggle that it had created. Paul is saying, in no uncertain terms, It's absolutely ridiculous to let your behavior and life be based on a comparison to someone else's behavior or life. And it's even more ridiculous to spend time figuring out how you measure up to people just like you in order to make yourself look better. If I were to sum things up, Paul was saying, hey, look, comparing any human to another human is ignorant and it makes you look silly. My mom used to tell me, there's always going to be someone who has more than you, and there's always going to be someone who has less. Her point wasn't for me to focus on people who had less so that I feel better about myself. Her point wasn't for me to focus on people who had more so that I would stay humbled. Her point was that comparing with others was pointless. It was a game I would never win. There's a principle found in the book of Proverbs, a book from the Old Testament of the Bible, a time before Jesus was around that Paul would have known by heart. It says this, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Solomon, the man who wrote this principle, was passionate about how important it is to guard our hearts. Why? Because what we do almost always comes from what we believe in our hearts. Our hearts matter because they control everything else. So we should guard our hearts. The opposite, one of the quickest ways to destroy our hearts, is comparison. If we see a post about how great someone else's life is, and we allow it to get into our hearts, to mess with what we believe about ourselves, we're in danger. If it makes us feel less than or worthless, it's like an attack on the heart that can ultimately mess with our entire life. That's why we have to get this right. If you remember nothing else today, remember this. Don't compare your worth with their post. Don't look at someone else, assume that their life is perfect, and conclude that your life is no good because in that moment, it doesn't look like theirs. Don't make a decision about how you look or don't look based on someone else's picture. A picture that was most likely taken 30 times, filtered, face-tuned, and edited. Don't make decisions about your worth based on what you see or perceive in other people. Yeah, this all sounds great, but how does this work? How do we actually fight the temptation to allow comparison to rule our lives? How do we guard our hearts like Solomon wisely suggested? It may not be easy, but it starts with the very word Solomon used, guard. Set some boundaries for what you see and what you allow your heart to participate in. If something messes with you, destroys how you feel, or gets to your heart in a bad way, pay attention to that and step in to give yourself a break. You guard your heart when you guard your Instagram, guard your Snapchat, guard your TikTok, guard your scroll, guard your thoughts when you're watching the likes roll in or not roll in fast enough. Guard your comments, guard who you follow. Guard yourself when you interact with others who make you feel less than. Guard who you spend time with, and especially those who constantly complain about their own life. In other words, when you find yourself in a situation, whether it's on social media or real life, where you are more likely to compare yourself to others, be on guard. Pay attention. Something is trying to get to your heart, and you need to set a boundary there. So much of this can be tough to notice in the moment. That's why being on guard can be helpful. Pay attention to what you do when you feel yourself spiraling into the comparison game. Maybe you find yourself overachieving and striving for the attention of others. Maybe you find yourself feeling so deflated that you wonder, why do I even try? Or maybe you find yourself playing the images or words over and over in your mind. When those things happen, pay attention. That's your clue that you're stuck in the comparison game. So when that happens, ask yourself these questions. Number one, what things are fueling how I feel? Number two, what are some things I want to do because of how I feel? And number three, what or who am I comparing myself to that's bringing up these feelings? We guard our hearts by paying attention to what we feel when we're tempted to play the comparison game. This may seem like a really big task. That's why I want to encourage you to talk to someone in your life, someone you trust, about what it looks like for you in your life to guard your heart and stop the comparison game. You aren't the only one who struggles to compare your life with someone else's. But living a life where you feel less than doesn't have to define how you feel. And it certainly doesn't need to define your worth. Remember, don't compare your worth to their post? What would it look like if you began to guard your heart when it comes to comparing your life to others? Imagine being able to walk in confidence about who you are. Imagine how different your day would be.
Hey, wasn't that a good video? Okay, so I think the part about that video that I like the most is when he said that your day could be going so great. You could be having the greatest day, and then all of a sudden you're like scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and you see something and it just changes your mood. It changes your mind and makes you go crazy on this crazy mind spin, right? I don't know if that happens to you, but I'm going to say it probably does. It happens to me. I know that. It could be something silly. It could be a picture of somebody. It could be a picture of a vacation that someone went on. It could be anything. It happens. It happens to me. I could be comparing about, I don't know, somebody maybe got a new car. It could be a picture of a house. It could be my weight. It could be school. It could be a career. Who knows? Who knows what that is? But what I do know is that it does happen. It happens to adults. It happens to kids. It happens to students. It's so real. It's such a real thing that we do. And it's inevitable, right? When we have the internet out there and we have social media out there, that's just what people do. Because let's be real. I mean, I'm not going to put a picture of myself out there if I think I look bad. Why would I do that? So, I mean, that's just what we do. We're comparing people's best parts of themselves, or what they perceive as the best parts of themselves, to what we are then critiquing ourselves. So what you don't want to do is compare your worth to a post that you would see, because you don't know what's really happening in that person's life. And even if that is the real for them, that might not be what your real is or needs to be. Because what I've experienced and have always been told is someone will always have better and someone will always have worse. Someone will always have more and someone will always have less. And as long as you're just happy with what you have, that's what matters. God's going to provide. He's going to provide for you if you trust him. So just trust in what he has, trust in what he's done for you, and you'll lead a better life. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Paul and Rachel Show. So there is a whole lot of new and exciting things happening around here. And one of those things is that we're going to start seeing some new faces around here. And so what better way to introduce some of those people than invite them to the Paul and Rachel Show? That is so exciting. So to get to know some of those people, of course, the best way is to interview them, right? Ask them crazy questions, play some crazy games, and just get to know who they are. So up in the chair, in the hot seat, is our newest small group leader. And to interview him and to get to know him, we're going to put him in the hot seat, ask him some questions. So up next, Josh Chandler. Yay. Woo! How are you?
Pretty good.
Excited. We're really excited to have you. We're excited to hang out with the kids. And yeah, all the things. It'll be exciting. Excited to
I think so. It'll be fun. Paul and I are going to have a good time.
Yeah. So we've got some questions for you. We'll throw a few out there and then I'll switch over and Rachel will get to ask you a few. But some of them are silly, some of them are serious. Just answer however you feel necessary.
All right.
So, first question is, what do you do for a living?
I drive my kids crazy.
Perfect.
Yep.
What are your hobbies?
Well, golfing. I like to go golfing. Sometimes I like to go fishing. And that's probably it.
That's all you have time
That's
for.
all I got time for.
So what is your favorite fast food or your favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant. I'm really liking tacos right now. So fish tacos at Fuzzy Taco is really good.
Okay.
I don't get to go there very often, but they're hard to find. A lot of them in Texas.
All right.
Fast food. That's probably a fast food too, but Probably Casey's Pizza, local. That's a good one.
That's good. Is there anything from your youth that you wish would come back into fashion?
From my youth, I've been trying to bring back the old jorts and cutoff with the farmer's tan from here up, so that the cutoff, that the good tank top, you still got that nice tan going on the lower half of the arm.
So, okay, so jorts. We're going to just have to give a little disclaimer of what a jort is for people who may not know what a jort is.
It's when you take an old worn out pair of jeans that you've already used them up, and then you proceed to cut around about the knee area, preferably a little above the knee, and then you wear them as shorts.
Well, see, and that's true, but a lot of times you didn't really cut them. You wore them to the point where your friends ended up tearing them at the knee, and then you just found your buddy just saying, let's just go ahead and make this thing go all the way 100%.
There wasn't necessarily a straight edge on the jeans,
No.
the jorts.
I'm not straight-laced, so yeah, Google that too.
So, with your jorts, where would be the next place on your travel bucket list and why?
I think
I think down south with jorts would probably fit in to get your
really
fish
good.
tacos.
Yeah, that would be. Up north, they've got a nice following up there too.
Oh, there?
I don't know. I think the next place we'll probably take a vacation would either be Arizona mountains, somewhere in there. We were kind of talking about that, or go back to Colorado mountains. We like the mountains.
That'd be all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so outside of your jorts, what would you say is your most prized possession and why?
Prized possession and why? I have some footballs from high school that were signed by my teammates, that my wife got encased. So yeah, those are pretty special. I remember my high school years were pretty fun. I had a great time back when I was in the youth. So
What is your favorite family tradition?
family tradition. We like to, at midnight on Tuesday evenings, on the third Tuesday, nobody's around, there's no lights, we get in our underwear and we run around the house. No, I'm just kidding.
Steer clear from the Chandler household on
Yeah.
the third Tuesday.
Third Tuesday of the month
At midnight.
at midnight.
Okay.
Starting now,
Yeah.
new tradition at the
Yep.
Chandler.
Yep. No, what do we like to do together? I don't know what we do a lot together that everybody enjoys. Honestly, somebody's out. They don't want to, it is.
True.
But a lot of the times, anybody, you can hear the horn in the
can hear it.
background. That's our golf cart that the kids like to get in. I don't mind driving it around. And we usually go do something like that, or go out golfing together with grandma and grandpa. So, yeah, something like that.
What is the best piece of advice a family member has given you?
Just be myself. And probably be myself and learn how to edit videos so we can take this out. I think that I had an IT cousin that taught me how to do that. Right? So we're gonna flip this and reverse it.
We're just working on it.
Yeah.
We're working.
Missy Elliott.
Okay.
No, I would probably say just be myself, and if I mess up, apologize for it. Yeah.
And the last one, what makes you proud of your family?
That we're still a family. It's easy to give up. A lot of people give up right now. A lot of stress out there. Families decide that it's just easier without somebody else in their life, and it isn't. And it is hard, but I'm just happy we're still a family.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you another one, and I'm gonna turn it over to Paul. What musical instrument do you wish that you knew how to play?
The ukulele.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Ukulele. Hawaiian music.
Well,
Yeah. Just jamming.
We're gonna need you to try that for the
No, I
kids.
can. I'll wear my jorts,
Jorts.
have my farmer tan, and we'll rock a yuki.
what is the best and worst purchase that you've ever made?
The best purchase I ever made was when we first got married. We bought a mattress, and it's not going where you're thinking, but it lasted for, it's 18 years now, and we still have it, and we're looked into another one, but it's yeah, there you go, a
Mattress is
mattress.
really holding strong.
I'm old to you youngsters, and I'm just telling you right now, a solid mattress, it'll make your life a lot easier.
I'm not gonna lie. I have an attachment to a mattress for a different reason, but mattress is a purchase that I make too. There's something to say about a mattress.
So did I answer your question? It was
You did.
that
Your
was
best?
my best. Okay.
If you had to change your name, what would you change it to?
This is our life, right?
Yeah.
This is our life. This is just our life, guys.
Something to do with Star Wars, Chewbacca something or other, or Antonio Rodriguez III. I don't know why, it just rolls off the tongue. It's fun to say. It's what I put in all the like fishbowl entries,
Yeah.
so they have to say it. And it's just fun.
Okay, and the last question. If you were given a 1-minute ad slot during the Super Bowl, how would you fill it?
I don't know.
60 seconds of national coverage.
60 seconds.
I think I did them all right. So.
Wow.
We go viral.
I would
pretty
get,
sure we go
okay,
viral.
so I was in a rock band in Wichita called the Right Behind Yous. And I would get them all together. We would do our famous
Hashtag plug.
60, there it is, 60 seconds worth of our favorite song. It was, I can't give it out. If you want to, watch the next Super Bowl. We'll have 60 seconds of it and you'll know. Teaser.
Awesome. Okay, well, we will thank you so much for getting a little bit into your life and sharing some information about you. So
Those are intimate details.
that's
Jorts,
pretty intimate.
tank tops.
Family traditions.
I'm telling you right now. A
Serenaded us.
mattress?
You pretty much serenaded us with shorts, you know. I mean,
Hey,
that's
Sharon, we're on a whole new level, folks.
So, okay, so up next we are going to play a wild and crazy game with these two. So it's going to be super fun. So stay close. All right, so this game is called Box of Lies. This is a game where we are going to see if these guys have what it takes to really get to know somebody and interpret their body language and just really get to see if they know what the other person is saying. So the object is they are going to pick a box and they are going to open the box, and they have the choice of either explaining what is in their box, or they can completely make up something completely different. And the other person, and the other person has to determine whether or not they are telling the truth or a complete lie. So we'll see. We'll see if they have what it takes to deceive the other person or tell the truth. So, up
Are you a good
first.
No poker face.
All right. So up first, we have Josh. Okay.
Oh, you got the brown one. You got the brown one.
I'm going with box number 2. Box number 2. Good? Oh man. See all those? Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, I'm looking at a bowl full of gummy worms with a clean diaper on top.
What brand is that?
It's I can't move it and it's on the other side. All I've got is prints on there.
Prince?
I can see the prints.
Like with the crown?
That's like
Prints?
they rolled it and they tucked them under on the other side. So all it's got on here is a bunch of diamonds and
Lies.
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 Mmm.
Those are lies.
It's close.
Oh!
It's a bowl full of goodies.
What's
What'd you call me?
Critters.
Are you ready?
Can I use
Okay.
You ready?
All right.
It
So
is-
point 1 for Paul.
I took box number 13. Okay. Well, I'm not quite sure what that is. So, what I have in front of me is a squirrel with Ray-Bans, faux Ray-Bans, a cellular phone, and a banana.
Is the squirrel alive?
I hope not. He's not moving if he is.
Okay. Hoping isn't enough. He is alive. It's Caddyshack.
Yeah.
It's a ground squirrel.
Thanks, buddy.
Point 2 for Paul. 2-0.
Stuffed ground squirrel. Yeah. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Can I even come back and win? Is there a winner and loser?
There's no winners and losers.
Not in life.
Get out of here. When I grew up, there were losers and there was winners. And if you ain't first, you're last. Okay. Oh boy. All right. That is. Would you call it an action figure? I don't even know if that's an action figure. I'm going to say it's an action figure. Let's go with, I have okay. Boy, oh boy. Yes. Winner. I have a teddy bear, okay, that is sponsored by Michael Phelps himself. He's wearing Michael Phelps brand goggles, okay? And the only reason I know it is because he's a winner and he's wearing a gold medal around his neck.
Michael Phelps had more than one gold medal. And I don't believe he's sponsored any Teddy Bears.
This is his cousin, Teddy Phelps.
Teddy Phelps. That
Yeah.
sounds made up. And just like your description, I'm going with lies.
It's the truth, my man. The truth shall set you free. Chase your little buddy here.
So 2 for Paul, 1 for Josh.
I'm coming back.
It's a comeback.
Okay, that one moved.
Oh, we got a live squirrel this time.
Oh no, that's good.
Maybe if I just listen, I can hear a lot.
I don't know that this really has a specific sound that would give it away. So what we have is a little early celebration of a Christmas tree in a can that has already been decorated with a set of well-lit snowmen and a nutcracker. A nutcracker with a smell goodie thing.
Nutcracker with a smell goody thing. Very descriptive. Honestly, it almost makes me think it's too much. I'm going with a lie.
This is a spruce tree in a can that you can plant. There it is. And decorated.
He has no creativity. He can't come up with anything.
I don't have to.
He doesn't have to.
3 for Paul, 1 for Josh.
This is crazy. You're giving him all the easy ones. Give him easy ones, see? Switch the deck here real quick. That was heavy. Okay. You give him hard ones.
Same hand last card, I lose.
What? Hip hop. Hip hop anonymous. Dang it! Okay. Oh, this is an easy one. Alright. Alright, ready? Got ourselves here. Have you ever heard of a raptor? Like the dinosaur raptor?
Okay.
Okay. They're carnivorous, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, then that pizza that's in his mouth has to be meat lovers. Okay? But because all raptors want to feel pretty, got himself or herself, because you feel like a lady, got one Cinderella shoe on one of the back legs, because the front ones are, you know, they're real short. They can't even, I don't even if they're legs, so you can't put the shoe on a hand.
Left foot or right foot? Wait, stage left, stage right. That's very important.
Stage right?
Truth.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it is. That's unbelievable. I thought I was great at this. I could come up with some of this stuff. It's ridiculous. Isn't that the prettiest? She had a rough night, didn't she?
I guess so.
She already ate the ice cream, watching a rom-com, Cinderella shoes, putting on a nice heel. Is that a wedge or a heel? What do you want to go with, a wedge or a heel?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, so we're at what, 4-1?
Yep.
Oh no.
I got that too.
No.
One.
You're doing such a fantastic job.
This?
But you're losing.
I don't know. Oh, okay, I think it's all.
Going with my gut here.
Okay.
Going with my gut.
Go with it. So, the squirrel,
Squirrel's back.
yeah, he must have had a friend. The dog.
Okay, the squirrel back, dog.
But it looks like the dog got into weightlifting. So we got a stuffed dog
Yeah.
that has a weight. I don't know.
Has a weight?
Like a
Like a barbell?
yes, like a mini one, like the little bitty guys.
Okay.
But he's also got a bunch of felt fruit. Hold on. So he tried to eat the fruit a little too quickly. Took the bite right out of the middle, but like shouldered the rest of it, and then instead of like taking it off, he just grabbed another piece and just. So it's like a fruit necklace.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll call it a fruit necklace.
Fruit necklace. Not pearls, but fruit.
No, it's all fruit.
What kind of fruit?
Apple, a green pear, and a watermelon.
Okay. I'm gonna go with a lie. You gotta lie on one of these. You haven't lied yet.
I would say, yeah, because that's not a dog.
Oh.
But I mean, he's got
It's
his
got
weight,
everything but
but I call him a dog. This is a sock puppet. It's not a dog.
soft puppet.
It's not a dog.
Are we out of boxes?
We're out of box.
Awesome. So the final tally was 4-2. All right, you hear it, Anchored. Although we do believe that there are winners and losers, you are a winner for playing, and we appreciate it. We do have one final question for you. So, if you could give us 1 minute, a 1 minute testimony, or maybe something that Jesus has done for you in your life, or just anything that one thing that you think Jesus is awesome. Just
Years ago, about 20 years ago, I met Emily, and her family is devout Christians, and so it was hard for me. I was not skeptic, but I was raised Catholic, and I just went for tradition reasons, honestly. And long story short, I've seen God work in my life for 20 years now, and even when I try and not believe it or push him away, it's like he knows what's good for me, loves me, and he's always there for me. I've got stories that I can share with you on a personal level that I feel are tangible proof that God has definitely worked in my life. So I'm here today, and if you want to get to know me and you want to come to Anchor and hang out with us and wear your pretty wedges and get to know just the fact that I'm here alive has a lot to do with my testimony. So
awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for the Paul and Rachel show. And as always,
You're loved.
you're loved.
bye.